Good morning, beautiful souls. How are you today? Yes, I look frightfully exhausted at the moment. Got the kids back yesterday and had to do school drop off, and then there were a few issues at home, so I'm here at the laundromat. And I've got a little bit of time in which to catch up with you all. So I thought that I would use this time to sort of just check in and explain where I've been, what I've been up to, and all of that kind of thing, because I have been a little bit scarce on YouTube of late, with the exception of a couple of unboxings, and little PR packages and that kind of stuff. So I have quite a lot of, content that I have been planning and wanting to, hi Miranda Lee, that I've been wanting to upload to YouTube. It's just been finding my rhythm at the moment. As many of you may know already, hi Sonia, I have begun a new relationship, but with that in mind, hi Rebecca, how you going? I have had a few little health complications. Now, as it turns out, I'm not giving you a woe is me story at all, but I had to have, I had an abnormal pap smear, and I ended up having to have a double biopsy on my cervix, and that has really disrupted my natural, hi priestess, hi Alicia, my natural, just bodily systems, and I've been really uncomfortable, and I've had a lot of discomfort as a result of that. And so I've got ultrasounds to do, and I've got more tests to do, and all of that kind of stuff. So that's been a little bit stressful. And on top of that, my dad ended up having to have an emergency surgery. He was rescued here from the property in a ambulance, and ended up having to have his gallbladder removed, and he was in hospital for well over a week. It was a little bit stressful. It's okay, folks. Honestly, I'm sharing this as a means of explaining why I haven't been uploading. I am fine. Honestly, I am coping. I am fine. I am happy. I'm slowly moving through my own issues, and it's fine. It's all manageable. I have been given excellent care in that sense. I have spoken to, specific, not surgeons, specialists like gynecologists and that, and they said that there's nothing abnormal in there. No risk of cancer just yet. I do need to go for another smear test next year, as opposed to waiting the, the set time. Hi, Trisha. So yeah, it's been all a little bit too much. And on top of that, I'm doing a renovation at home, because we live in a tiny home, and because of that, everyone's sleeping in one room. And since I started seeing my new partner, and he's moved in officially, and he lives there now, his puppy lives there now, he's part of the furniture, the kids adore him. And so we needed more space, because it just felt a little awkward. The kids are getting bigger. So we're trying to turn our 1-bedroom tiny home into a 2-bedroom tiny home. Thankfully, my partner, he's an engineer and a builder and a carpenter and a mechanic and a this and a that. He's all the things, he's ADHD. So he has all these skills that I knew not of. But that's a story for another time. Nevertheless, so it's been cluttered there. And on top of that, oh my gosh, you wouldn't read about it, right? So I work out of 2 spaces, by the way. Many of you may not know this, but I work out of 2 spaces. I have my space that I created when I broke my ankle last year, and it's down the bottom. It's currently inaccessible at the moment, because everything that from the sunroom that we're turning into a 2nd bedroom has been pushed down, and is now in front of my workspace. So I'm like, okay, so I'm working out of the kitchen table, and then I go up the top to the cottage, the witch's cottage. A jack of all trades, nice. Yes, indeed. So I go up to the cottage to do readings. Now, I was swamped, absolutely swamped with readings from August of last year onwards, and I am catching up on my readings. I finally hit November readings this week, so I've done 4 November readings so far, but I had to get through all of August. And then the following months until I finally got to November. I know that's stressful. It's now March, and I'm doing readings almost every day. So that should just give you a little indicator of the volume of readings that I have to get through, and I'm trying. And when, because a tarot reading isn't an everyday task, it's not an everyday job, and spirit work is certainly heavier than tarot per se. if I'm not feeling well, if I'm not feeling clear in my mind, if I'm not feeling grounded, if I'm not feeling centered, I simply can't sit down and dedicate that time to another person, because I'm not able to then give my all. And so even though I've been reading every day, it's been so hilarious trying to get me in the right frame of mind. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to ground, I'm going to center, and then I'm trying to reach my oils, and I'm like Florida watering me, and I'm smoke cleansing me, and I'm doing all the funny things, and I'm taking it all in my stride. Like, this is all very, very funny. This is just an indicator of where I am in my life at the moment. Everything's up in the air, and it's also given me a tiny, tiny little taste of what it's going to be like when I actively build a home. So that is my ultimate goal, and I've got two main goals to achieve at some point this year, and I'm giving myself 18 months to be able to achieve it. But I want to start the build on my home, building my house, and I also want to start on the second edition of the Bone Stone. I've been getting a lot of interest on the Bone Stone first edition. As many of you know, I have decks here. I have what do you call it? Original prints that were sent back as well during the height of COVID, when everything bounced back, and I haven't been able to send to specific parts of the world as of yet because of the situation with the mail. The mail seems to be the last place, like Australia Post seems to be the last place that will make adjustments when it comes to the whole COVID restrictions and not being able to post to certain places. And now with the whole Ukrainian issue, this has created more things, and now we've got Japanese encephalitis in Australia, and that's created even more things. So I'm just like, I'm not even looking at sending out packages or returning people's mail just yet, because I genuinely don't believe that it will get there. And you know, I know the lady at the post office here, and I talk to her weekly so that she can give me updates on the situation. And she's like, oh, I wouldn't go sending like 100 things off at the moment, because yeah, everything's very unstable, and you know, changes happen in different countries, like with the blink of an eye, and then things bounce back, and that's, you know, that's a hassle on your end. Then you have to go and resend it again, and it'll be the third time that you've sent it, and I'm just like, oh my God. Anyway, so it's not easy. Australia's not an easy country to sort of negotiate as well. You know, we have the highest cost of living. We have the highest cost of living. What we pay for postage is not a small fee at all. Like, I've paid up to $60 to send small packages into different parts of the world. So it's ridiculous. And because I live in southern Tasmania, in the country, in the sticks, you might call it, what happens then is that even more services are denied me. Oh, Miranda, yeah, poor mail. Silly bought something from the Ukraine in February. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mail all around the world is fucked up at the moment. And excuse me for swearing, and I'm sorry if you have kids present. Like, I should have given you a warning there, and I should be able to control what I say, but at the end of the day, I can't. I'm a potty mouth. But there is so much going on. We have now disaster level floods in Australia, and that's deterring things from arriving. It's deterring mail. We have had floods in Queensland, in Brisbane. My sister almost had her house flooded, and there were certain parts of Brisbane that were flooded, and now Lismore is flooded. The Hawkesbury River has broken its banks, and cottages are, you know, tiny pieces of roof can be seen from cottages. Like, there is so much going on in the world at the moment that it makes sensitive people and intuitives want to crawl into their little houses, under their doona covers, their duvet covers, and just have a little cry for the state of the world. Oh, I gotta watch these. I thought I would watch this live. Oh, thanks, Sonia. So with the Bone Stone, I still have my bones of the Bone Stone up for sale through Make Playing Cards. At the time, because of COVID, because of the situation with COVID, that is how I chose to do it. I got recommendations from people who had had good experiences doing it that way. So I have that up for sale still, and that will remain there. And it comes in a nice little tin. And I love it. I think it's really beautiful, actually. It's a wonderful, wonderful deck to read with. And my copy of The Bones of the Bonestone is also from Make Playing Cards. So what you have, I also have as the creator. And it's a beautiful deck to shuffle. The cardstock is quite waxy, which I like. It's borderless, it's sepia toned. And there is one unique image in there that is not in the main first edition of the Bonestone. So if you want something a little bit special, there's that as well. Yes, MPC is good cardstock. But I've been talking to Anna, and we have, I do have intentions on creating a second edition of the Bonestone, but Anna is also a prolific artist. She's working on several projects at once, so I'm at the mercy of her time frames, and I'm not stressed about that at all, because I know that she does excellent work and she's got her own stuff going on. But we do have plans to collaborate in future to create a second edition. I just can't say when that will be with everything going on. And as is the nature of human beings, we're not corporations, we're individual creators, we are tarot deck, enthusiasts. We are at the mercy of life here. We can't hide behind a brand name, we can't hide behind, the softer approaches given to major corporations and all of the staff and all of the support and all of the personnel and all of the people and all of the assistance that comes with that. We are doing this out of our homes. I'm doing this out of a tiny home at the moment, off-grid on a tiny home. And I don't think that that is a bad thing either. I would love to see more creators out there, and I would love to see more people supporting smaller creators, because let's face it, the global trade is, I've got so much to say on global trade, but I'm not even talking ethically here. I'm just sensing this change in the winds. You're probably feeling it as well. It's like a little restlessness, but it's a change in the winds in the sense that we are not going to be able to consistently sustain this lifestyle that we have become accustomed to for a prolonged period of time. Things are starting to fracture. Things are starting to break down. We saw this because of COVID. COVID was a brilliant highlighter to these little issues that were suddenly amplified, like mail stopped. And now with the issue in the Ukraine, our fuel prices have been driven up to ridiculous proportions and levels and prices. And it's one thing after another, and we're just starting to see just all the little cracks appearing, and it makes me feel really genuinely uneasy about it. And still, I want to get on here and I want to create. I have a hunger to create. And that's another thing that I should probably talk about, is that I had felt creatively dead. For about 6 months, I felt genuinely creatively dead. On a silly note, I love the length of your hair. Oh, thanks, babe. I got it colored recently at this little, at that little place over there. So good fun, good times, good fun, and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm feeling really happy with my hair at the moment. Thank you. Yeah, I've as I was saying, I felt really creatively dead. And I was feeling really bad, and I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I called one of my besties. Her name is Erin Duncan. You can see her on Instagram. She is a gorgeous artist and a long-time friend of mine, a former Coven member, and just a good family friend. And I was talking to her about it. I'm like, I can't believe that I have to say this out loud. And I wasn't game to say it to anybody other than Laura and Erin. And I'm like, but I feel like creatively dead. Like I've got nothing to give. Like I feel like I've just bled myself dry. And I was just in a slump, like in a proper creative slump. And the thing is that all I needed was a break. And Erin was really quick to say to me, she's like, I am not surprised at all, honey. I have never seen someone go as hard as you have gone for as long as you've gone. Like I've been prolifically creating online for over 10 years and I've never had a break. And I just hit a wall where everything just sort of like caught up with me, you know, whether it was my divorce, my illness, breaking my foot. And I was powering through that. I was still powering through that, and I was still powering through that. Like, I would not quit until finally I officially burnt out and I had to take a big step back. Gas is $4.70 a gallon here. Oh my God, it's over $2 a litre here as well. I'm sure that equates to a very similar change there. But yeah, it's been really fucking stressful. Here in NZ, we're having building material shortage. We're having building material shortages here as well. And people that had put in applications to build houses have now got to wait for about 2 years, which means that they then need to renew their building permits and things like that. So shit is fucked up. Like, it's properly fucked up here. People have the house, they have the capital, they secured the funds, they can't get a builder. They can't get building material. So I'm lucky in the sense that my partner can build and is great at foraging and, you know, going to tip shops and doing all sorts of things like that. And so it's really, really just quite, you know, it's quite interesting in that sense. So yeah, anyway. So I just thought that I would give you a bit of a heads up. I am coming back. I am coming back with a vengeance, so to speak. I've got a lot that I want to share, a lot that I want to offer, a lot more, you know, meaningful kinds of videos, less unboxings. Well, I still have to keep up the same amount of unboxings, but I am going to be, you know, sharing a lot of videos. My Patreon platform is doing better now. It's coming alive and I'm able to create and I'm able to upload a lot more there. And at the moment I have been uploading vlogs, like personal vlogs of everything that's going behind the scenes, and lots of stuff, lots of off-grid stuff. So I'm finally finding a bit of a rhythm and a bit of a groove. So if you are interested in supporting me and my channel, I would love for you to become a part of my Patreon, because it's going to be the difference between me being able to build a house and create another deck and not. So I'm going to go now and I'll talk to you guys later. Look after yourselves and I will chat to you again soon. Big love, take care, be kind to one another, send lots of blessings and love out into the world. Okay, bye.